by our dear Soumya Raghunath Prabhu, so who is the person behind all this Saturday morning our sessions. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for taking this endeavor to take to this session. So you can start, Prabhu.
Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे विष्णु कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण। So Hare Krishna to everyone. Welcome everyone for this Saturday morning Bhagavatam session. So today we will look into the chapter 5 of third canto. So in the previous chapter, uh, we have seen how Vidura he meets Uddhava. So basically, before the Mahabharata war, so Vidura actually is no, he comes out of the Hastinapur kingdom, right? So we know like how Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan, so they drive away Vidura. So they don't like the advice of Vidura. They think that no, Vidura is trying to support Pandavas instead of them, and for that reason they drive him away from the Hastinapur. So in that context, Vidura, he doesn't take any offense. So it is mentioned that no, he simply puts all his weapons and he changes his dress, and then he wears a simple uh, cloth, no, loin cloth, and he moves out for Tirtha Yatra. So we can understand, no, by this act, no, he was at a very great position. You know, he was a minister of Hastinapur. But no, when he was asked to leave that position, Vidura, without a second thought, no, thinking that no, this is the will of the Lord, this is the will of the providence, he just, without any arguments, he moves away. And in that context, when Vidura, he keeps on visiting lot of Tirtha places. So Vidura is completely unaware, no, what is happening when the Mahabharata war is happening. Also, Vidura is unaware, like what is the progress, no, what is happening and all. But Vidura is busy visiting all the Tirtha yatras. So it is said that no, by the time no he visits a pilgrimage, he takes a holy bath at the pilgrimage, and his clothes are still wet by the time he is visiting the other pilgrimage place. So now we can imagine no with no so much of intensity, no, Vidura is visiting all the pilgrimage, and during this visit of pilgrimage he happens to come to Badrika ashram, right? So there he sees Uddhava, and in the previous chapter we have seen how he ask Uddhava, no, how the Yadu dynasty is, how Krishna Balram are, no, how the other family members are doing. And at that point of time, no, he gets to know that no, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, no, who is like the sun, he has said, right? So Uddhava, he compares the disappearance of Lord Krishna to the sunrise and the sunset. So when the sun sets, it doesn't mean that no the sun has gone forever. No, it will not rise. it means that sun has set in one region, and sorry, yeah, so it has set at one region, but it would arise in another region. So Krishna might have wind up his Leela in this world, but somewhere in the universe, in other part of the world, he's again appearing there, to benefit the souls of that world, right? And then he explains that no, how, what is the outcome of the Mahabharata war, and how Krishna has left, no, and then no, actually, he gives a brief description about the Supreme Lord, from his birth, how he has born in jail, then how he comes to Vrindavan, and what are the pastimes he does in Vrindavan, killing different demons, then going to Mathura, and all these, in a very flash of light, in not a very systematic way, but whatever Uddhava is able to remember, no, because he was in deep meditation, or he was in deep conscious of Krishna. So he revealed all the pastimes in very brief. And then at the end, no, Maitreya, sorry, Vidura, he wanted to actually accept Uddhava as his spiritual master. He wanted to hear in a more systematic way, no, and for a longer period of time. But Uddhava, looking at the age of Vidura and looking at the position, he's a Uttamadhikari, he's one of the most what to say, uh, advanced devotees. So looking at his position, he thought it wouldn't be good on his part, because he was very much younger in age to Vidura. So he requested Vidura that when Krishna departed, Maitreya Muni was also, no, by the will of the Lord, by the will of the providence, he also happened to be at that place, and he has also heard, no, whatever Krishna has given instructions at the last moment to Uddhava. So he requested, you better, no, you go and visit Maitreya Muni and take further instructions from him. So actually, the last chapter, though it is entitled as Vidura approaches Maitreya, but actually that episode happens at the last verse, actually, right? And in this chapter, no, it is titled as Vidura's talk with Maitreya Muni. So after visiting Maitreya Muni, this is in this chapter, no, Vyasadeva actually elaborates, no, what is happening after Vidura meets Maitreya Muni, what he talks, how he starts the conversation, what questions he asks, or what did Maitreya Muni give in response, the answers to his questions. So, Vidura, being a great devotee, right? He didn't simply just ask about the very high-fi philosophy or high topics related to Krishna or Krishna Leela or Rasa Leela, right? So Vidura, he understands the position of a common person, and he starts asking very basic questions to Maitreya Muni. So this whole chapter is divided into five parts actually. So in the start, it is about what questions Vidura is asking to Maitreya Muni, and how in very particular to Krishna Katha, no, Vidura actually asked Maitreya Muni to talk more on the topics of Krishna Katha than any other topics, no, from the scriptures, because the scriptures deals with so many topics actually, right? So, but Vidura is more interested in Krishna Katha, and he glorifies the Krishna Katha. No, what is importance of Krishna Katha? What is the outcome by hearing Krishna Katha? So that is the second part of this chapter. And the third part, of course, he also asks about no, Krishna's Purusha Leela Avatar, and how the creation, no, is formed by the Supreme Lord, how he creates this creation from the start. And the third part, Maitreya Muni actually praises Vidura for his wonderful questions, no, which are benefit not only to the speaker and to the hearer, but also to the complete world actually in large. And then he starts explaining about the creation, how Mahavishnu is formed, and how Mahatattva, from Mahatattva, all the elements are coming, and how different planets are created, different living entities and different planets are created. And in the end, so this is the fourth part, in the end, so Vyasadeva also explains how the demigods, who are the presiding deities of each of these elements, they're praying to the Supreme Lord, right? So this is a very brief overview of this chapter. So we will look in detail. So we'll start with the questions which Vidura is asking to Maitreya Muni. So in the second verse, Vidura is asking, Sukhaya karmani karoti loko nathai sukham vanya uparam manava vindeta bhuyyastata eva dukkam yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadenaha. So Vidura is telling Sukhaya karmani karoti loko. So in this world, all the people, no, they are looking to be happy, and they are doing all the activities, no, which they feel that it may make them happy. But what he's telling in the next sentence, Natai Sukham Vanya. No, but instead of getting Sukha, they are getting only Dukkham. No, though they are planning, no, they are planning lot of things to be happy, and they are doing the activities. But at the end of the day, what is happening is they are getting only Dukkha. So, oh great sage, can you please instruct or give directions? Know what one should do to actually get real happiness, right? So we can see that no, Vidura is at a very high position. No, he need not think of these basic points. He has understood, he has realized all these things, but just so that the people in general can benefit, he is coming down to the level of a common person, and he's asking the basic thing, because for any person in this world, right, the only question they have in their mind is, I want to be happy. No, striving, I'm struggling to be happy. I'm making so many plans day in and day out. I'm making only plans to be happy, but at the end of the day, I'm not being happy all the time, right? So we have seen this in our few discussions also. There's a description in Mahabharata, no, about a person. No, what is the position of a person in this material life, right? So it is given that no, there is a forest, and there is a person who is running in the forest. Why he is running? Because uh, there is a mad elephant, no, which is running behind this person, and to escape this mad elephant anger, this person is running, trying to seek a shelter, and finally, what he does, he just jumps and climbs. No, he holds on to a bark of a tree, and then he's looking at the elephant. And no, elephant is trying to no beat the trunk of the elephant, sorry, the tree, so that this person can fall down. No, it is trying to shake the tree so that sometime this person can fall down, and then I can kill him. And this person, no, he is struggling and is fearful that no, I have to hold on tightly, otherwise if I lose my grip, no, I'll fall down, and then this elephant will kill me. And in that situation, what is happening? No, he's looking down. No, he's looking down, and he can see there is a pit, and the pit is full of snakes, different snakes, and different kinds of wild animals. And on the tree, he can see that there are two rats, no, who are trying to eat away the bark, no, the bark on which he is trying to hang over, right? So Vyasadeva explains that no, this is the position of a person in this material world. No, the day and night, by the passing of each day and night, it is becoming very, very difficult for a person to be happy, right? We can actually experience this, right? So if you look at kids, no, if you look at the small kids, if I look at Madhav, he's always happy, right? So he's always happy. So by the time he grows, like he is now in probably nursery. By the time he comes to school, high school, PUC, engineering, no, as the time passes, as the day and night, as the year passes, it would become really difficult for him to be happy, right? The kind of happiness he is in, no, today, he would not survive with the same happiness continuously in his life. So slowly, slowly, what we have experienced in our life is the the happiness is getting down day by day. And eventually, every day we are struggling to plan to be happy, right? So at the small age, now Madhav is not struggling to make plans. How I can be happy? If I do this, I'll be happy. If I get this, I'll be happy. No, he's just happy. But by the pass of the day and time, no, we are struggling to make plans to be happy, right? So this situation which is explained in Mahabharata, so it is very precarious. No, it actually gives our own position. So Vidura is explaining the same thing here. No, people are doing so many plans, but they are not happy at all. No, but somehow whatever plans they make, they end up being sad at the end of the day only. So can you give instructions? Can you give proper guidance for people like this? And in the next verse, he also gives the reason why they are being sad all the time. So he's saying, जनस्य कृष्णाद्विमुक्षदैवात् अधर्मशीलस्य सुखदीक्षये अनुग्रहेह चरन्ति नूनं भूतानि भव्यानि जनार्दस्य. So Vidura is telling that janasya krishnadvimukshya, no, because of this material world, no, because of the influence of this material nature, the general people, no, what they are doing, they are Krishnad Vimukhasya. No, they are turning their face away from Krishna. Because they are turning their face away from Krishna, so what is that they are always uh, in? So they are always in dukkha. No, they are thinking that by turning their face away from Krishna and making their own plans to be happy, they're thinking they can be happy. But the only reason they are always sad, they are always in dukkha is because they have turned their face from the Supreme Lord. And so there are people like you, no, who are Janardasya, no, who are the devotees of the Janardana, who are Charanti Nunam, no, who are wandering in this world only to guide such people, right? So it is very common we see around that most of us, no, we are busy doing as per our nature and as per our position in the society, right? So we try to do mistakes, we tend to do sinful activities, we try to think, okay, this may bring us happiness, and we try to have a lot of plans, and we try to do those things, right? But here Vidra is telling that this is very common for everyone to do. Why? Because everybody has moved away, no, from Krishna, and they're trying to lord over this material world. But there are people like Maitreya Muni, no, who are wandering around this world so that they can give us the right direction, right? So till the time we actually associate with the devotees, no, we are wandering this world trying to see, okay, how I can be happy, how I can increase my opulence, how I can increase my bank balance, or how I can increase my Aishwarya or the position in the society, right? Thinking that we'll be happy. But at the end of the day, when we realize that no, these things will not give us happy, what happens is when people like Maitri Muni, they come into our life, no, the Vaishnavas, they come into our life, they give us a proper direction that no, this is what you need to do. No, though you are trying to do so many things, but this is not the right thing for you to do to become happy. No, you have to turn your face towards Krishna. No, you have to do bhakti. No, and how you can do what you can do is the directions which sages like Maitri Muni would give us, right? So, in our life, till the time we are not associated with Vaishnavas, we are doing so many things, which are sinful and which take us away from actually Krishna. But the moment we associate with great devotees like Srila Prabhupada, our Gurudev and all the senior Vaishnavas, that is the moment we should become very serious in our life. No, we should not think, okay, everybody is enjoying, so let me also enjoy. No, the time for us have come for us to become serious and sincere in our life, right? So, because of whatever, whatever our karma was or whatever good deeds we have done, somehow today we have come in contact with the devotees, we have come in contact with the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. So we have to become very sincere in taking these instructions. We cannot be very lackadaisical, or we cannot be complacent. No, we cannot think, okay, I know little bit about Bhagavad Gita, I know about something about bhakti, so let me take it aram se. Other people even don't know. They're not even sincere. No, they don't even know this knowledge. I'm at least theoretically, I know, okay, what is right, what is wrong, and what path I should follow. So let me take this path very casually. No, that shouldn't be our attitude, right? So whenever the moment we get in touch with a sadhu, the moment we get in touch with this bhakti, we have to become very serious and sincere, right? So what is the purpose of this whole creation, right? So many people, they have this question, no, why Supreme Lord has created this material world, right? So the answer to this, actually, the face value, or the outward answer is, so that all the jivas, who want to Lord, who don't want to serve the Supreme Lord, but they want others to serve them. So Krishna says, no, in Vaikunta, you cannot survive here, right? Because everybody is serving me here. You cannot be served here. There is no place, here for you to be served. So, okay, so you want to be served, you want to be Lord like me, so I'll create another world for you. So that's how Krishna has created a material world where we can actually Lord, where we can fulfill all our desires, whatever desires we had, because of which we have no actually shown our back to Krishna, because we want to fulfill this desire. So Krishna has given this provision, this material world, so that we can actually fulfill our desire. So, but that is very, on a surface, that is answer. But the real reason is Krishna want us to realize that no, that serving Krishna would give us the ultimate happiness in our life, right? So at the end of the day, now everybody want to be happy, but the only misconception we have is, okay, whatever plans I make for my personal desires, if I fulfill them, I'll be happy. So that is a misconception. So for us to come out of this misconception, Krishna has created this whole setup of material world, karma, devatas. No, we have our family, friends, our boss, the government. No, all this setup is done only for the only reason that we realize that no, this is not the right place. No, for me to have plans to fulfill my own desires is not the right thing for me to do to be happy, but I have to serve the Supreme Lord, right? And how we can know? We can know only from the great sages like Maitreya Muni. So here Vidura is giving the root cause for one's existence. Vidura is also giving root cause why everybody is unhappy, though everybody want to be happy. And then he is also giving solution, like how a devotees like the Supreme Lord, Maitreya Muni, they are wandering, no? Charanti, Nunyam. So they are wandering around the world so that they can give the right directions to the people on what they should be if they want to be very, very happy in this material world. And after asking these few questions, which are very, very basic, actually, this is not the intention of Vidura to ask, but he's asking these basic questions only for us, for a common person. After that, no, Vidura comes to the point what he wants to ask Maitreya Muni. So he asks him to explain the Purusha avatar, the Leela avatar, how actually the Supreme Lord is creating this material world, how is maintaining it, how is destroying it, and how all the living entities, no, they are getting created in different planets, in different regions of this material world, and how no, he is able to do it actually, right? And after that, Vidura is also emphasizing on Krishna Katha, right? So he's telling that there are so many topics in this world, no? The Shastras actually, they talk about so many topics, no? But the sar, no? The sar of all the topics is the Harer Khatam. So if you can talk about Harikatha, I would be more satisfied. So he explains that no, I have already heard from Vyasadev all the other topics, about the diplomacy, politics, because he was himself a minister. So He knew all the topics related to politics, about artha, kama, moksha. No, he was very learned in all the shastras, right? How one can be actually renounced. So all these things Vidura knows, but he is asking Maitri Muni to especially concentrate on Harikatha, and he is also glorifying, like, what happens if one actually hears harikatha. So he's telling, so if one hears harikatha, so one can actually come out of this bondage of life, especially graharatim, sorry, geharatim is the family life, right? So initially, as we spoke, no, this material world is created for a person to enjoy his own desires. And to enjoy his own desires, what is the best setup in this material world, right? So we have brahmacharya ashram, we have grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa ashram, right? So of all these four ashrams, grihastha ashram is the ashram in which one can enjoy his material life. He can fulfill his material desires, right? So here Vidura is telling, if one hears this Krishna Katha through his karna nadhim, no, through his ears, no, which can purify him and actually help him come out of this family bondage, right? So the person who is more attached to fulfilling his own desires, so he is very much attached to the family life. But here Vidura is telling, if one hears Krishna Katha, it can help him to actually come out of this bondage of material bondage or this grahastha family bondage, right? So here Prabhupada is explaining that how a person in grahastha ashram, no, has to treat all his family members as, what to say, as the children of Krishna, or as the amshas of Krishna. No, they are part and parcel of Krishna, and it is my duty to take care of them. Right. So with that attitude, and that attitude can be only for a devotee, for a materialistic person, the attitude is only how I can engage my family members so that they can serve me better. Right. So if you look in general public, in a family, so everybody is thinking, no, how my son can serve me, how my wife can serve me, how my husband can serve me, how my father can serve me, how my mother can serve me. So the only conscious is that putting ourselves in the center, everybody is thinking how others can serve me or how others can help me fulfill my material desires, right? But for a devotee, right, the thinking is a different, no? The devotee thinks how I can serve my mother, how I can serve my father, no, how I can serve my kids, how I can serve my wife. So if everybody in a grasta ashram, no, everybody in the family has that attitude that no, he is part and parcel of Krishna, he is given, no, as a husband or as a children or as a mother or a father to me by Krishna's mercy. So it is my duty to take care of him or her, right? So if everybody thinks like that, then that kind of grahastha ashram would actually help the family members, no, everyone in the family, to actually come out of this bhavasaga, right? This is what no, Vidura is telling. He's emphasizing the importance of Krishna Katha, and after asking these basic questions, he's telling, no, you please only talk about Krishna Katha. And then he is actually praising, no, when he is asking about Krishna Katha, he is actually praising Maitri Muni or the sages like Maitri Muni, who are the only hope for the people. No, the only good fortune a common person can have is through a devotee. So when a devotee gives the right direction in their life, that is when all the good fortune can come into their life. And he explains that he is Artha Bandhu. No, Vidura says that no, you are the friend of a distressed, right? So in this material world, practically there are only two kinds of people, right? So one is Nitya Baddha. No, they are actually eternally, no, they are doomed to be in this material world because of their material desires. And the other set of people are the devotees of the Lord, and their only reason for their existence in this material world is they want to give the right direction to these people, no, who are Nityabhaddhas, no, who are always distressed, no, whose thinking is only to be happy selfishly, but they don't have a direction like how they can be happy. So Vidura is praising, no, that how Maitreya Muni is actually the one who awards good fortune to the distressed, and how he is actually the friend of the distressed. So in this context, no, we can see in the Gopi Geet also, the gopis, no, they are trying to actually glorify the devotees, no, who are coming to this material world only to give directions to the people in general who was always in distress. So they
చేసుకున్నానా
Hare Krishna, requesting everyone to mute. So I'm able to hear a lot of disturbances now and then. So I would request everyone to check their mic and particularly please mute. So in this context, no, gopis are also praising these people, no, these sages who are actually giving good fortune to the others. So in that context, we have this verse from, no, 10th canto, 31st chapter, 9th verse. So this is part of actually Gopi Gita. तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीदितं कल्मषापः श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. So the actual word is bhurida jana. So gopis are telling, no, by hearing your katamrita, no, by hearing your katamrita by these learned sages, right? What is happening is kalmanashana, no, the kalmasha, no, all the sinful tendencies and the reactions, they're driven away from the general people. Shravana Mangala Srimad Atama, no, by hearing this wonderful, no, pastimes about yourself, no, the qualities of yourself, no, they are actually benefiting the people in common by removing their sinful tendencies. And the gopis are saying bhurida jana, no, they are the most beneficial people, no, they are actually awarding the most benefit thing in this material world, right? So generally, no, we have this misconception, no, if someone is awarding me what is a promotion in my office, then he's a well wisher to me. Or if one of our relative, no, they come and they say, no, I have a lot of money, I'll transfer 10 crores to your bank account. No, we think, okay, he's a very well wisher to me, right? Right. So we have this misconception of being a well wisher, right? So the actual well wisher is the devotee of the Lord, no, whose only whose only reason to exist in this material world is to give us the proper direction, no, to give us the harikatha, so that actually we can come out of the sinful tendencies and be happy, right? So we see, like Srila Prabhupada now has undergone so many hardships, right? So we all know, right, how Srila Prabhupada has struggled after taking sannyas. He stays in Vrindavan. He tries to preach in Vrindavan, in other cities like Jhansi, for about 9 years in India, right? And finally he thinks, okay, anyway, my Guru Maharaj has given me instructions that I know I need to go to the Western world and preach this no, Harikatha, or this message of God. So let me try there. I have been trying here for 9 years in India. And then we all know how Srila Prabhupada, no, with great difficulty, he tries to convince and get a ticket in Jalduta, which is not even a passenger ship, but it is a cargo ship. And he sails for 3 months in the ship, right? No, can you just imagine? No, we are planning to go to Trivandrum, and no, we are trying to take a overnight train within probably 10 to 12 hours. We'll be in Trivandrum and no, be in the yatra. But if someone says no, you have to just walk, right? And I think if you try to walk from here to Trivandrum, probably it would take probably a month, right? But Prabhupada has taken hardships of 3 months in this no boat, where he has to do nothing. It is not even a passenger ship. It is just a cargo ship, and he's all alone. He doesn't even have association. No, he just has association of his guru and no the Bhagavatam, no, which he brings from India. And we also see how he goes to America. He faces a lot of opposition, and then with a strong will, no, he goes to New York. He goes to this famous no park, and then he starts chanting. Then he gets attraction of young people. They see him in saffron clothes, and then they start asking him. Then he starts the Bhagavad Gita sessions. No, Prabhupada has struggled a lot, right? So why do we think no Prabhupada has to go undergo all these things? It is not because Prabhupada is carrying some no previous karma that no he has to face these hardships when he's trying to propagate this Krishna consciousness. No, Prabhupada is like they are pure devotees. No, their whole reason, their whole sole reason is coming to this material world is to actually give directions to the distressed souls like us, right? So similarly here, no, Vidura is also praising Maitri Muni that how people like you actually can are the most benefactors actually for this whole common people, right? And after this, so after these are the questions which are put to Maitramani by Vidura. And in the next section, from verse number 17 to 21, so now Maitri Muni is actually uh, praising Vidura, right? So here we can see that Vidura is having lot of respects to the speaker who is Maitri Muni, and is very very happy that no, I am able to meet a person who is actually having greater knowledge than me, who can actually guide me, who from whom I can take instructions. And Maitri Muni in turn is very very happy that no, I am able to get a person who is asking questions about the Supreme Lord. So this gives an opportunity for me to meditate upon the Supreme Lord and actually glorify Supreme Lord, right? So this is a very, very good, what is the situation where the speaker and the seeker, no, they are having mutual respect for each other. So in this context, Maitri Muni also praises Vidura. He says, "Oh, Vidura, I know you are not an ordinary person, right? I know you are Yamaraj in your previous birth. No, you are the Yamaraj who are very personal associate of the Supreme Lord. And you have taken this birth of Vidura as a Shudra because of a curse from Mandavya Muni. So there is a small episode, no? Yamaraj, um, he is not able to do proper justice to Mandavya Muni, and he awards him what do you say punishment which he is not supposed to award. That in that context, Mandavya Muni becomes very angry, saying that no, you are holding such a prestigious position. No, you have to be very responsible. You cannot be irresponsible in doing your duties. So because you are not able to do your duties properly, I curse you to take a birth on the earthly planet as a Shudra, and actually, what to say, take prashita for whatever you have done, right? So we can just imagine Yamaraj, who is taking the responsibility of awarding punishment to all the Jivatmas in this Brahmanda for the very small mistake, whatever he thought was right. No, he is being awarded such a big punishment as an atonement. Now we can just imagine with all the responsibilities we are supposed to take, no, as a mother, as a father, as a son, as a kid, now how many mistakes we would have done in our life, right? So it is unimaginable, no? And for every mistake, if some sage comes and no gives us a curse that no, you take birth in the lower planetary system and then you atone for all the activities. No, it is such a precarious situation we would be in. No, we would have to take not millions of years of birth, but we would have to take millions births actually to atone for all the irresponsibilities no we have shown to our position, no, for whatever Krishna has given to us. So we have to be very much afraid, no? Yamaraj himself is getting cursed, and he has to take a birth on the earthly planet to atone for his whatever one action he has done. So we should think ourselves, no, we should be afraid, no. We all know in our minds, in our hearts, what things we have been doing all our life. So we should become more sincere in Krishna conscious. That no, I'm such a sinful person. I'm not able to adhere to my responsibility. So I should become more and more sincere instead of trying to take atoning for all these irresponsibilities by taking different births and then going through the cycle of one complete different cycle of birth and death. It is very precarious, so better we become very sincere in hearing Krishna Katha. And finally, Maitri Muni starts speaking about the existence of this material world or the creation of this material world, right? So Maitri Muni starts saying that no, how Balram is the first expansion of Krishna, and from Balram we have this Chaturvya expansion, Vasudeva, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And from this Chaturvya, Shankarshana, there's another form which comes, it is Narayana. And from that Narayana form, there another Chaturvya, another Vasudeva, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And from that Shankarshana, Mahavishnu comes out in this material world. So by this we can understand that this Mahavishnu, who is responsible for the creation of this material world, is actually amsha of Krishna actually, right? So he's none other than Krishna. We can understand that he is like amsha and amsha of the Supreme Lord. So when this Mahavishnu actually is created from the amshas of Lord Krishna. So he actually glanced at the material world, right? So now the discussion would become little technical in nature. So from verse number 28 to 38, so Maitri Muni would actually explain the process how this material world is created, how the living entities are created, how these different planetary systems are created. So he's trying to give the very, very basic ingredients, right? So for example, someone comes to your house, no, you actually serve them very nice dish. For example, you serve them uh, biryani, right? And they are very much happy that no, this taste amazing. So can you please tell us the recipe? Then what you would do? You would start with all the ingredients. No, we bought all these vegetables, all this masala, curd, milk, ghee, saffron, rice, and then you will tell all the process, know how to cook, and then finally the person would understand that okay, this is how I'm able to get this biryani, right? So similarly here, Maitri Muni is trying to explain to Vidura how the basic ingredients of this material world are created. So we will not go very deep into the discussion because it will take a lot of time. So we just try to look at this on a very high level. So for each element of creation, there is one verse represented in this section actually. So we'll not go to each and every verse, but we'll try to finish off by looking at the summary what Maitreya Muni actually explains. So Maitreya Muni explains that this Mahavishnu actually glance at the material world, right? This material world is in Pradhana form. And when Mahavishnu glance at this material world in Pradhana form, the Mahatattva actually comes into existence. And from Mahatattva, all the basic ingredients are created. So very detailed explanation is given like how each and every element is created, but we'll not go into that. We'll just list all these ingredients. So there are five uh, knowledge acquiring senses, right? Which are ear, eyes, skin, nose, and tongue. And after that, there are five karmindriyas. They are hands, feet, tongue, anus, and genitals. So these are the 10 primary ingredients. Apart from this, there are another 10. So which are earth, fire, water, and ether. These are the five ingredients, and there are also five sense objects, which are sound, touch, taste, and smell. So totally 10 senses, like working and knowledge acquiring, and five basic elements, ether, air, fire, earth, and water, and then five sense objects, sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. So altogether there are 20 elements. And apart from these 20 elements, we also have man, buddhi, and ahankar, mind, intelligence, and false ego. So Maitri Muni explains that these 23 elements are the primary ingredients, right? So how for a vegetable pulao, we have the prime ingredients. For this whole material world creation, these are the prime elements. And mixing of these elements creates different planetary systems, different forms of life, right? For example, we in this earthly planet, we have the panchadhatus, no, we have ether, air, fire, water, and earth in our body. But the most prominent thing in our body is earth element, right? But for someone who is living in, for example, surya, like in the sun, right, in sun planet, so their body consists mostly of ether. So the earth element, the water element would be very, very minimal. Probably ether would be more in their body, because that's how they can sustain in that circumstances or in that environment. So it is very similar, like how we know that, no, though there are millions of colors in this world, but they are got those colors are got only out of these three primary colors, right? Red, green, yellow, right? So only these three colors, when they mix in different ratios, these millions of colors like pink, orange, whatever other colors we know, they actually come into existence, right? So similarly, when these 23 elements are created from Mahatattva, mixture of these elements in different ratios actually give birth to this complete material world, right? And apart from this creation of material primary elements, so there also the devatas, no, who are primary head for each and every element. For example, it is mentioned that for ears it is Surya Dev, for skin it is Vayu, for tongue it is Varuna. So like that, for all these 23 elements, so they are devatas. So now, after explaining how these primary elements are created from Mahatattva by Mahavishnu, so now Maitreya Muni explains, now primary elements are created, but they have to mix to get a proper product, right? So to get a proper color, we need to know uh, how to mix and in what ratio we should mix these primary colors. So similarly, upon themselves, by themselves, these demigods didn't had any knowledge that how we should mix with other elements and then create certain things in this material world. So from verse number 39 to 51, which is the last part of this chapter. So we have the prayers by the Devatas, right? By which Devatas? So the Devatas who are heading this primary ingredients. So they don't know what to do. No, earth is there, ether is there, fire is there, nose is there, skin is there, sound is there, form is there, smell is there, but they are existing by themselves. They're not having any idea like how we should mix with each other so that we can form a good product, right? So finally they come to the Supreme Lord and they start offering prayers so that, no, the Supreme Lord can give them directions, right? So it is very, very similar to the initial topics which we had discussed. No, the common people in this world, they come to this material world and they are directionless. No, they don't have any direction. So any sane person who understands that, no, I am trying to wander in this material world here and there without proper direction. So what they will do ultimately, they come to the Supreme Lord, they pray that, no, somehow you please help me so that I can get a direction in my life and I know what I should do for the purpose, no, for why I have been created in this material world. So similarly here, Devatas, no, just imagine Devatas themselves, when they're created, they're in the similar mood. They don't know, no, they don't know what is the purpose, no, they don't know what they should be doing. So they're offering praise to the Supreme Lord, saying that, no, you are only our shelter, no, you only can give us proper direction to our life. So can you please let us know, no, how, what we should be doing for our purpose, right? So here we'll try to read few of the prayers from this section. So the prayers are very elaborate, no, they from 39 to 51, so it is almost like probably 12, 13 verses of prayers, but we'll try to see few of the prayers in this section. So one of the prayer, 39 verse, actually this is when the devatas actually start the prayer. They're saying, Namamate Deva Padaravindam prapanna tapo pashamata patram janmulaketa yato janoshru samsara dukkam bahirukti shapanti. So, Devatas themselves are praying to the Supreme Lord, saying that your lotus feet, Padara Vindam, they are like umbrella for us. No, they only can protect us from the samsara dukkham. Right? So can you just imagine? No, the Devatas who have been created to help the Supreme Lord in creating this material world, they themselves are praying that no, only your lotus feet no can give us shelter from this samsara dukkha. No, it can act like a umbrella for from all the material dukkhas. So in our practically in our material life also, no, it is very difficult for us to move away from this material no dukkhas, no this what to say this there are three kinds of miseries we have, right? So nobody can escape from these three kinds of miseries. They are existing in this material world. So the only thing one can do is take umbrella, no, which is the Padaravinda, no, which is the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord as shelter. So with that shelter of lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, one can actually try to uh, get protection from these three kinds of miseries, right? So practically in our life also, no, all of us are engaged in different kinds of activities. No, either we are going to office, we are doing business, we are taking care of children, we are going out in the market to buy certain things, we are having so many dealings with the material people. So obviously all these activities would involve these three kinds of miseries. No, nobody can say that okay, today morning I'll go out and by the time I return my house, I'm not facing any kinds of miseries. No, all of us are facing at padam, right? So we know that Krishna says that this is dukkhalayam ashashvatam, padam vipadam. No, but at every step in this material world, there is a danger. So for us to escape or to get protection from this padam vipadam, from this every step of danger, we should also have the attitude of these devatas, right? So the devatas are telling no, your lotus feet are the umbrella for us for protection. So we also have to now surrender ourselves to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord and feel protected practically in this material world. And how we can actually take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord? So Prabhupada gives a very simple formula. No, he gives this A, B, C, D of bhakti. No, association, books reading, chanting, and diet. So these are the things which we need to follow very sincerely. No, we need to always seek the association of devotees. Now, to whatever extent, no, we can minimal association of non-devotees, like no, we go to office, we go to school, we go to grocery shop. So whatever minimal dealings we need to have, we should not get engrossed with the other non-devotees in this material world, right? So we should take maximum association of devotees, because association of devotees can give us those good qualities by which we can come out of this material world, and by which we practically can actually do devotional service. Otherwise, the more we try to associate with non-devotees, we get all their no what is it characteristics, their bhava, and then ultimately we may not feel interested in bhakti, right? So that's what is very very important, that we take association of devotees. And then B, book reading. No, this mind is very chanchal. No, Krishna, sorry, Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Oh Krishna, I can try to think of controlling a whirlpool, but controlling mind is very, very difficult. Then Krishna gives the answer how you can control mind. What is that? That is by practice and by vairagya, right? And how you can practice and vairagya when we have knowledge, right? And how we can get knowledge? We can get knowledge only from scriptures. So that's why we have to make habit of reading scriptures day in and day out. Prabhupada says that no, my disciples have to read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam at least 2 hours a day. No, 1 hour Bhagavad Gita and 1 hour Bhagavatam, right? And then chanting. No, we have to chant our designated rounds. Whether you're uh, chanting 4 rounds or 8 rounds or 16 rounds in a day or 20 rounds in a day, we have to give priority to our chanting. No, we need to have a particular time in a day for our chanting and complete it on priority. No, we cannot think that, okay, I'll try to do my chanting, and we try to give priority to other activities in our life. We try to complete all of them, and then at the night we think, oh, my chanting is pending. No, I have to complete my rounds. No, we have to give priority to our chanting. And finally, diet. No, Prabhupada says, no, one should see to as much as one takes Krishna Prasad, right? So there is a saying that, no, you are what you eat, right? So similarly, Prabhupada has suggested, no, Krishna has suggested in Bhagavad Gita that no, one has to take only the offerings which are offered to the Supreme Lord. Without offering to the Supreme Lord, if we try to just enjoy, whether it is food or probably whatever material things what we are acquiring, if we try to selfishly enjoy them without offering to Krishna, we are only taking sins, right? So the more and more sinner we become actually by doing this. So that's what is very, very important for us to offer Naivedyam to the Supreme Lord, offer Bhoga to the Supreme Lord, and honor the Prasadam. So the Prabhupada is giving very, very simple formula how we can actually take shelter of this or shelter of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet by following this ABCD of Bhakti, right? And then finally, um, uh, so this is one of the prayers. So I'll directly skip and come to the last prayer. So they say, पानेन ते देवकथाशुधाय प्रविद्धभक्त्या विशदस्य ये वैराग्यसारं प्रतिलभ्य बोधं यथा यज्ञशुर Vaikuntadishnam. So here Devata saying that Panenate Devakatha. No, by continuously hearing to the Harikatha, what is happening? Vishuddhaya. No, the mind is getting purified, and the tendency to do bhakti is becoming more and more. And we are also getting Vairagya Sharam. No, we are also achieving the Vairagya. So by continuously hearing to Krishna Katha, the demigods are saying that we get power, or we get a more and more sincere attitude towards doing bhakti, and we get also Vairagya. And by getting all these two, what we are getting at the end of the day, we are getting Vaikuntha Sthanam. No, we are getting a chance to live in the Vaikuntha Loka along with the Supreme Lord. So with this, the prayers of Devata end, and finally they pray that no, we are misdirected. No, we don't know what to do. We are not united at currently. So you please instruct us so that no, we can unite together and serve you better, right? So similarly, in a family also, who are not surrendered to the Supreme Lord, they are disintegrated. No, they are not united. Mother, father, kids, no, parents, they all have their own mindset, they have their own desires. But once they come to Krishna consciousness, everybody is having the same goal of serving Supreme Lord. So like how the Devatas are praying that no, we are now not united. So you please direct us know how we can unitely serve you. So similarly, a family who comes to Krishna consciousness, they come united like the Devatas, and they serve the Supreme Lord better. And in that way, they can be happy. Okay. So with this, I will end today's session. So if anybody is having any questions or comments, we can take.
Hare Krishna. So I assume there is no question, no? So
Was I audible properly, Prabhu? If nobody's having
yes,
question,
yes,
I'm
you were
thinking
probably
whether
you were
I
very
made some
clear in
sense or not.
your thought process was very, very, very flow was so nice of the whole this thing and covering so many important aspects of bhakti. So it was really amazing, Prabhu, and it looks you have prepared so well that you even without looking on any PPT and all that you were just flowing the whole chapter. Very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your all your endeavor and you know you are the Janak of these Srimad Bhagavatam sessions. So I think you are fully justifying by your wonderful sessions. So that's how the Srimad Bhagavatam has to be read. That what is the essence in so many important shlokas, and you have taken all that essence and you have just carried it forward. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So I again ask anybody has any question or comments before we close the session today.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.